Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to Soul Simple Life Shifts. Today I just want to talk a little bit about our worldview in terms of our relationship to our life's work and what we bring forward and how we engage with the idea of work, career, contribution overall. And so I want to talk about I'm going to read through the shifts that have to do with this broad area for just a moment. So how we've done it before, we've created from a standard or proven model, and what we're invited into is more of a recreation, an energy of recreation and a free flow throughout any system or any processes related to our life's work and or our chosen field of expertise, our contribution. Another how we've done it before is performance expectations and clear-cut roles. And there's an opportunity to move more into engaged connections and dynamic relationships that shift in terms of responsibilities. It's a little more fluid than perhaps it used to be. And while, of course, there will still be expectations if you are in a particular career position, there is, the invitation to co-create. Again, back to the idea of the energy of recreation and more of a flow to work. In the past, either or kind of scenarios, and Whole New Way Forward being both and scenarios. In the past, we always looked at things in terms of macro and micro. Those were the levels, right? And now we're invited to really move into a simultaneous shift between both perspectives. And then in addition to the both, the duality or the polar opposite perspectives, which macro and micro are just one example of that. But we can also begin to expand the frame so that we have multiple frames and multiple points of view and a really dynamic engagement with an experience of our work. In the past, how we've done it before, linear, one thing at a time, and then there was the move into more lateral. And in the Whole New Way Forward, as we move into and create our future together, future being an acronym that I use for finding unity through understanding radiant expansion. And as we move toward and embrace future of humanity and of our own way that we engage with our work, we can shift into a quantum experience, into multi-dimensionality. In the past, there was the focus was often on heavy-minded work. And what's really going to serve us as we move forward is lighthearted play, bringing that energy back into work, and in particular our life's work, and just even the day-to-day responsibilities. What would that be like if we just really approached it more in terms of lighthearted and playfulness, not shirking in any way what needs to get done, but really just bringing the fun back into it. How we've done it before, problem solving and a one right solution. And we're invited to move into more of an exploratory nature, exploration and discovery, and multiple pathways as opposed to just that single right answer. All right, those are the shifts related to our relationship to our work and career that were a part of the introduction to my book, All Systems Go, which is what I'm covering in these videos. So in terms of a practice that you could do, it's just to, whatever time during each day that you are focused on work or career or contribution or business, find a way to really check into and expand the ways that you're seeing it. And in particular, I would say to really ensure that where in the past you may have been very, very rigid structures and linear and or even lateral, but very sort of like one-dimensional, really consider, like, how could this be quantum? How could this be a quantum experience? How could this experience be expanded and I be expanded within it? Where's the multidimensionality at play here? And how can I bring more curiosity and lighthearted play into my work, even if it's just in a little bit of a lighter touch? It could be with people. Some of us have we'll have very go-to kind of places where we tighten up. For some of us, it might be we would get really formal in our communication. And for others of us, it may be something more like, very, very rigid sequencing to the way we approach our work, or very rigid structures in terms of what we do first and then next. Like we get in to the office at 8:30 a.m. and we sit down at our desk and we get our cup of coffee and we check our email, that kind of stuff. Mix it up a bit if you have that flexibility. Obviously, do what you need to in terms of abiding by the necessary parameters of wherever you do practice your work. But in particular, if you're self-employed, or if you have a career, it's loud today. I guess I should have done this inside. If you have a opportunity to be a little more flexible, and particularly if you're a manager, this is really fun. Or even if you just work with contractors or other people and you collaborate, this is really great to play with. Like, where can you be more lighthearted, more playful, more, and even in terms of your own planning for what's next in the ways you want to contribute. And by the way, this whole idea of work and contribution also matters. Like, you may not have employment necessarily or a business, but just in the way that you share your gifts, even as simple as the gift of hospitality when you invite somebody to share a meal, or meet somebody for coffee and conversation, or go out to eat, or go to an outing, or show up at a community event. There's those kinds of things too, which is, I suppose that's not technically work, but it certainly is a way we share ourselves. All right, so have fun just considering that worldview, and I'll see you next time.